Okay, so let's go over the different types of these nitrogenous waste removal. We've talked about some of them as we went through the animal groups. So we talked about, early on in like the evolution of animals, that is animals that are very simple. They do it on the cellular level, that is, like porifera, sponges, or whatever. The water would be washing past the cells, and nitrogenous waste would just pass through the membrane to the water that's surrounding them. Later on, as animals got thicker, that is, they got multicellular, and they got, all of these are multicellular, but as they got thicker bodied, they had to have some other type of waste removal. So we talked about flame cells. We'll look at those a little more closely in a sec. And then Annelida had metanephridia. We talked about Malpighian tubules and arthropoda, and the kidney in chordata. So we're going to go through each of these a little bit more. So looking down here, we can see that this is just a depiction of the flame cell. The flame cell would be hanging out sort of in the gastrovascular cavity, picking up waste products that would be coming from the cells and ending up in that cavity. What we're talking about, of course, is nitrogenous waste. As the fluids pass by the actual little flame bulb there, I'm trying to get it in focus. It's a little better. You might want to look in your book if it's not in focus for you. Anyway, as the water passes through the flame bulb, it's going to be removing that nitrogenous waste, basically because the waste is going to be moving out of the duct, or what they call the nephridiopore. But as it moves out, then there's no nitrogenous waste in there, and there will be a diffusion gradient for nitrogenous waste into the flame bulb. All right, so that's how that would work. Okay, so looking at the metanephridia, it's basically the same idea. It's just bigger. That is, it's kind of inundating. It's going around the vessels that would be part of the annelids. Remember that they actually have a circulatory system. So it's going to be picking up items or nitrogenous waste from the vessels, and again passing it outside of the body. So it's kind of like a flame cell. It's just not washed by fluid in this case. It's actually doing transport from the vessels into the actual metanephridia. So it's kind of like a kidney, really. And then you have what they call Malpighian tubules. This is in insects, and kind of similar in the sense that the actual tubules are out in the body fluids. Remember that the insect has an open circulatory system, so it has body fluids bathing the inside of the organs, around the organs, and these tubules would be in that fluid. And again, collecting the nitrogenous waste and passing it towards the outside. All right, and then we're going to cover the mammalian kidney, but just in general, all chordates have a kidney. They wouldn't necessarily look exactly like this, but we will go through all of these things, all of the parts of this picture here, and talk about the basic function of the kidney. First of all, I'd just like tell you a little bit about it, that if you look here at the kidney, you can see this is kind of how like what it looks like on the outside. And if you take one of those little pieces, so you can see that there's a bunch of those, then what we're looking at is a whole lot of tubules, or one little section that has the collecting ducts right here. You can kind of see that. And then, like, if you look even closer, this is talking about this a little bit more detail. So we're going to go over each one of those, and just remembering that that's like a kidney is made up of many parts of that. And in the body, as you dissect, well, you won't dissect, but as you look at the dissecting of the animals that we've looked at, they will have two kidneys, and they're usually in the back, on the back side of the coelom, and sort of in the middle of the body. All right.